The message was clear, though never spoken aloud. Either let me back in, or this fight never ends. That's the ultimatum Prince Harry allegedly sent to his family this week, wrapped in what he thought was a reasonable offer. Stop the lawsuits. End the media battles. Just give me my royal roll back. Simple, right? But Harry made one catastrophic mistake. He assumed he was dealing with a grieving father who'd cave under emotional pressure. What he got instead was a brother who'd seen enough, and that brother is furious. What we're about to uncover goes far deeper than family drama. While King Charles might still harbor hope for reconciliation, Prince William has reportedly stepped into a role the palace hasn't seen in decades. The enforcer. And according to those close to the situation, William doesn't view Harry's proposal as an olive branch. He sees it as something far more sinister, a calculated move that reeks of desperation and manipulation. The Prince of Wales has examined every angle of this situation, and his conclusion is damning. What Harry's calling a peace offering, William's calling blackmail, and his response? A permanent ban from royal duties. No negotiations. No second chances. The door is closed. But why such a harsh stance? Because the palace has reportedly gained access to documents from Harry's ongoing legal battles, and what they reveal is shocking. This isn't just about suing newspapers anymore. This has evolved into what insiders are calling a dirty war, complete with allegations that include dishonesty, potential fraud, and conspiracy. We're going to expose the crushing financial pressure driving Harry's sudden desire to return. We'll reveal the identity of the convicted criminal who's allegedly been on Harry's payroll. And we'll show you exactly why Prince William believes that protecting the crown means keeping his brother on the outside, looking in forever. The financial desperation behind the return. To understand why William's taken such a hardline position, we need to ask the question most media outlets are deliberately avoiding. Why now? After 4 years of public attacks, after the interviews and the book and the constant legal battles, why is Prince Harry suddenly so eager to come back into the royal fold? His team wants us to believe it's about duty. They say he misses serving, that he's worried about his aging father. It all sounds noble, doesn't it? But according to financial analysts who've reportedly briefed Prince William, there's a completely different story hidden beneath the surface. It's not nostalgia driving Harry's return, it's desperation. When Harry launched his legal crusade against the British press, he genuinely believed it would be self-funding. Win the cases, collect massive damage awards, walk away with millions. That was the plan. But the reality of high-stakes litigation has turned out to be brutally different. Here's what most people don't understand about fighting cases in the High Court. It's not a game for people with a few million in the bank. It's a game for billionaires. And Harry, despite his wealth, is hemorrhaging money at an alarming rate. Legal experts estimate the costs are astronomical. We're talking about retaining elite lawyers who charge thousands per day, filing fees that add up quickly, and the crushing cost of discovery. This kind of litigation doesn't just cost money. It devours it. When you lose these cases, as Harry did with his police protection lawsuit, you don't just lose your own legal fees. You're often required to pay the other side's costs too. That can run into hundreds of thousands of pounds. So where does this leave the Duke of Sussex? According to sources familiar with the situation, the pressure in Montecito has reached a breaking point. The Netflix deal isn't an endless fountain of money. Spotify collapsed entirely, yet the expenses keep mounting. The $14 million mortgage, the $3 million annual security bill, the private jets, the lifestyle they're committed to maintaining. And underneath all of it, there's reportedly a secret debt that's strangling their financial future. This is where Harry's sudden offer to return makes perfect sense, at least from a financial perspective. If he's welcomed back, even in a limited capacity, the argument for taxpayer-funded security becomes viable again. That's $3 million a year instantly freed up in his personal budget. Money that could go straight to paying off legal debts. Prince William figured this out immediately. Harry's peace dossier wasn't about reconciliation at all. It was a business proposal dressed up as an apology. Harry needs the monarchy to subsidize the very legal war he's waging against British institutions. But William has drawn a line. He's closed the checkbook. And without that royal bailout, Harry's left holding a mountain of legal bills with no clear way to pay them. The convicted criminal on Harry's payroll. If the secret debt was the practical reason for William's permanent ban, what comes next is the moral reason, the part that reportedly makes William's blood boil. For 4 years, Prince Harry has positioned himself as a crusader for ethical journalism. He's portrayed himself as a lone warrior fighting against the very tactics he believes destroyed his mother's life. It's a compelling narrative, isn't it? But here's what Prince William has reportedly discovered, and it's changed everything. To fight his so-called noble crusade, Harry has aligned himself with some of the most questionable characters imaginable. Court documents have confirmed something that shatters Harry's moral high ground completely. His legal team hired a man named Graham Johnson. And Graham Johnson isn't some whistleblower or reformed journalist. He's a convicted phone hacker, a former reporter for the News of the World, the very newspaper that became synonymous with media corruption. This isn't speculation, it's documented fact. Johnson has a criminal record for phone hacking, the exact crime Harry claims to hate more than anything else. And yet, according to financial records, Harry's legal team put this convicted criminal on a monthly retainer. £5,000 month after month, plus expenses. Let that reality settle in. The man who says the press destroyed his life through illegal hacking is paying a convicted phone hacker thousands of pounds to help win his lawsuit. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. For Prince William, this represents a complete betrayal of values. You can't position yourself as an ethical crusader while keeping criminals on your payroll. You can't claim to be fighting for privacy rights while employing people who made careers out of violating privacy. Harry has proven that he has no real principles. He's willing to get into the mud with anyone if it helps him win. This is what William reportedly calls the dirty war, and it's why the permanent ban became necessary. If the monarchy welcomes Harry back now, they're essentially endorsing these methods. Harry genuinely believes he's a warrior for truth. But from the palace's perspective, he's a man who's lost his moral compass entirely. The star witness who turned, allegations of fraud if hiring a convicted criminal damaged Harry's moral credibility. What happened next threatens to destroy his legal case entirely. To understand how catastrophic this is, you need to know about Gavin Burrows. For months, Burrows was presented as Harry's ace in the hole, the private investigator who would deliver the evidence needed to bring down the Daily Mail. Harry's lawyers were relying heavily on Burrows to provide testimony proving the tabloids had targeted him through illegal means. But then something extraordinary happened. The star witness flipped. Gavin Burrows has turned against the very legal team that was counting on him. He's filed an explosive claim alleging that a key witness statement submitted to the court, a document that bore his name and signature, was forged. Read that again. Forged. Burrows is claiming he never signed the document that Harry's team presented as evidence. This is no longer just a dispute about privacy law or media ethics. We've crossed into territory that involves potential criminal conduct. The allegations being made aren't about aggressive litigation tactics. We're talking about possible dishonesty, fraud, and conspiracy, words that carry serious legal consequences. The accusations go even deeper. Burrows claims that misleading email chains were deliberately created, that payments were made for sworn evidence, that the entire operation had crossed ethical and legal lines. But the story takes an even darker turn. Burrows hasn't just disavowed the evidence, he's claiming he's being hunted. According to his lawyers, Burrows has faced what they describe as blatant attempts at intimidation. The situation has become so threatening that Burrows has reportedly requested permission to give his testimony remotely from an undisclosed location. He's afraid for his physical safety. Think about the implications. A witness in a case involving the king's son is allegedly so terrified of retaliation that he's asking to testify from a safe house. When Prince William learned about these allegations, insiders say his reaction was immediate and severe. The dirty war had crossed a red line. Allegations of forged documents and witness intimidation aren't just ethically problematic, they're radioactive. To most observers, this looks like a celebrity scandal, ugly in public, but ultimately just tabloid fodder. But to Prince William and the constitutional experts advising King Charles, this has morphed into something far more dangerous, a genuine constitutional crisis. What most people miss is the legal reality of Harry's current position. Despite living in California and publicly trashing his family, Prince Harry remains a counselor of state. This isn't some ceremonial honor. It's a vital constitutional role that gives him the legal authority to stand in for King Charles and sign official state papers if the monarch becomes incapacitated. Prince William has reportedly come to a terrifying realization. How can the institution possibly allow someone facing allegations of fraud and conspiracy to act as a deputy for the king? If Harry were to exercise his powers as counselor of state while these allegations remain unresolved, it would contaminate the entire legal authority of the crown. Every document he signed could potentially be challenged in court. It would be a constitutional disaster. But there's an even more immediate danger: the perjury trap. Harry is expected to take the witness stand to defend his claims and testify under oath. And this is where things could go catastrophically wrong. In the United Kingdom, perjury isn't just a mistake. It's a criminal offense that can result in prison time. Those close to the royal family are reportedly terrified because they understand Harry's limitations. Under cross-examination by experienced lawyers, Harry has a tendency to blur the line between his truth and objective truth. If Harry contradicts himself on the stand, or if he's proven to have relied on forged documents, he could face a criminal investigation. Imagine the catastrophe of a counselor of state being investigated for perjury or fraud. Prince William, acting as the monarchy's enforcer, is looking at this scenario and seeing an existential threat. Harry has become radioactive. His legal battles have made him too dangerous to keep close. The permanent ban isn't personal revenge, it's institutional protection. The Grey Rock strategy. William and Catherine win by working while Harry digs through legal documents and courtroom accusations. His brother William is out in the world, doing the job Harry abandoned. And the contrast couldn't be more devastating. Prince William understands something fundamental about power. The best revenge isn't a press release. It's success. This week, the Prince and Princess of Wales executed what can only be described as a masterclass in strategic contrast. At the exact moment, Harry was reportedly dragging the family name through allegations of fraud. Prince William was photographed visiting a farm in the British countryside, wearing a simple flat cap, pruning trees with his bare hands alongside agricultural workers. This image is psychological warfare at its finest. On one side, you have a prince obsessed with personal grievances, relying on convicted criminals to wage his war. On the other side, you have the future king, hands in the soil, highlighting the work of ordinary people who keep the country running. Catherine brought effortless grace under pressure. While media speculation swirled about Harry's peace offering, the Princess of Wales hosted a reception at Windsor Castle for the British women's rugby team. She drove herself to Windsor, stepped out in a sharp Alexander McQueen suit, photographed walking in with an umbrella, wearing a genuine smile. No pretense, no drama. This is what's known as the Grey Rock method in action, a psychological strategy for dealing with people who thrive on drama. You become as uninteresting and unresponsive as a gray rock. You don't engage with the chaos. You just exist solid and unbothered. William and Catherine have turned themselves into granite. They're refusing to be distracted from their duties by Harry's controversial legal battles. By celebrating athletes and farmers, by doing the unglamorous work of serving their country, they're sending Harry a silent but unmistakable message. We're busy honoring champions. You're busy hanging out with criminals. The brilliance of this strategy is that it renders Harry completely irrelevant. Harry thrives on conflict. He needs reaction to fuel his narrative of victimhood. But William and Catherine aren't giving him that satisfaction. They're not angry. They're not defensive. They're simply indifferent to him. And that indifference is the ultimate punishment. The final judgment as the palace doors close with finality, we're witnessing a tragedy that feels almost Shakespearean in its scope. Prince Harry gambled everything on a dirty war and a secret peace proposal. He believed he could force his way back into the royal family through threats and legal maneuvering. But he forgot the most fundamental rule about power and institutions. You cannot negotiate with the crown when your hands are covered in mud. Harry claimed he wanted to clean up the media industry, and that's actually a worthy goal. But to achieve it, he was apparently willing to hire convicted criminals and descend into a world of alleged fraud and intimidation. The road to hell really is paved with good intentions and terrible company. Prince William hasn't acted out of cruelty. He's made a calculated decision based on necessity. You cannot invite someone back into the family who brings corruption and scandal with him. Harry wanted to be remembered as a hero. Thus, instead, he's becoming a cautionary tale about what happens when you lose sight of your principles in pursuit of victory. Now the final judgment belongs to you. Should King Charles and Prince William strip Harry of his remaining titles to protect the monarchy from these fraud allegations? Cast your verdict in the comments. Type yes if you believe the crown must cut all ties and remove the titles. Type no if you think Harry deserves one final chance to redeem himself. If you believe that character and integrity matter more than titles and status, please hit that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because when the judge finally delivers the verdict on this dirty war, you're going to want to be here to witness it all. The king has made his position known. Prince William has closed the door. The monarchy moves forward without him. I'll see you in the next investigation.